Well, yeah, it definitely takes more than 5 minutes to do these. So we're going to move on with document 2 in just a sec. So on to the way. All right, so document 2 is the Novgorod Chronicles. Novgorod's a city in what's now Russia. Prince rode down with the accursed Mongols with him, and basically, what did they do? They paid tribute. And then the Mongols went away. What is tribute? Basically, you're paying somebody off to not kill you. Document 3, Marco Polo. You're all familiar with Marco Polo at the court of Kublai Khan, who was simultaneously the Mongol leader, Great Khan, and the emperor of the Yuan dynasty in China. This article, or the document, he's talking about the idea of paper money, which is kind of important because in Europe at this point in time, money is just precious metals, which means you actually have to get the precious metal first. And they don't have paper. They have, at this point in history, they have something called parchment, which is thin leather, but it's not paper. It's made out of like sheepskin. Document 4, Ibn al is a Muslim historian of the 13th century, and he talks about just how awful the Mongols are and how they kill everybody, which would indicate that the interaction with the Mongols, at least initially in the Middle East, was pretty negative. And then we get to document 5, which is a map of the introduction of paper. You'll note that paper getting to Europe by the 1300s, whereas it starts in central China in the 100s BC, and a timeline illustrating the spread of printing technology from east to west. How did it get to the west? Well, probably partially the Mongols, if you know. All right, so there is our 5 documents, are our 5 documents, I should say. You're looking at impacts. So impacts, we have the impact of potential for missionary activity. You have the potential for interaction, once again, across Eurasia. We've got, from this one, you've got tribute, interaction once again. This one, you have the idea of paper money, which is both financial and just technological in terms of paper. We have the destruction of large quantities of the Middle East, and then later, which you'll note if you go to your timeline, you will note that Mongol ruler of Persia converts to Islam in 1295, which, there's something right there. So they aren't within 75 years, you'll note that things change. And then lastly, we have the paper trail, which shows that technological movement and how it works. So what could you argue with this? You could argue, you could compare, you could say, some Mongol stuff was good, technology, cultural interaction. Some of it wasn't so hot, like, for instance, the massive violence in the Middle East. But then you could use your timeline. Part of that is additional historical evidence. You could say, but at the same time, the Mongol ruler of Persia converted to Islam within, 2 generations of this occurring. So see how you plug the timeline information in. Other stuff that you could work in. For instance, point of view. Friar John, what's his point of view? Well, he's trying to convert the Mongols. So he's going to try to make a rosy picture out of it. So he's going to try to make it clear that the Mongols are as convertible as possible. At the same time, he's also talking to the boss back in Rome, who would be the Pope, saying, these people could be a bulwark for us. What's unspoken here, and if you went to the timeline for Europe at this point, which would be on page, it would be page 561, you'll see that it talks about, for Europe, talks about things like Portuguese entering the exploration. It's more a little bit later. So you could also tie in the fact that they're closing in on the Renaissance, things like that. Novgorod Chronicles. Who are the Novgorod Chronicles? Well, this doesn't really have a point of view per se. Let's see how much time we have here. Make sure I'm not overrunning things. Well, looks like I'm about ready to hit the end of my video, so I'm going to have to record a third video. So stay tuned for the next video. It's coming down the pipes in about 10 seconds.